So guys, here we are, MMA UK News, Stoomboy as always. So talking about Goliath Fight Series 2. So Goliath Fight Series 2 is going to be at the Glen Pavilion in Dunfermline. It's going to be on this Sunday, the 6th of November. Now, ticket availability, anybody looking to get tickets, head over to the usual place, Goliath Fight Series Facebook page, and you will get all the details there. There's also pay-per-view on this as well. So again, make sure you do head over to the Goliath Fight Series page and get all them details from there. Now, again, I say this all the time. Whenever there's an event in Scotland, I mean, we always see some of the best amateurs in Scotland coming from all over Scotland are on the card, and Goliath Fight Series is no different. We saw an awesome Goliath Fight Series 1 earlier this year. Some absolute unbelievable matchups. We had some elbows, we had some knees, which was awesome to see. Obviously, the amateurs loved that. The amateurs did absolutely love that. And Goliath Fight Series 2 is absolutely no different. I mean, again, some of the guys, some of the fighters that were on the first one have obviously returned for the second one. So again, it promises to be an unbelievable Sunday of combat sports in Dunfermline. So now my next guest is going to be on the show on Sunday. So Fraser Paterson. Now, Fraser's now fighting out of the Griphouse, so obviously moved down for university. Obviously in the university digs at the moment. So yes, moved down for university. You're going to be down here for what, 4 years, Fraser?
Yeah, at least 4 years, Matt.
Yeah. So coming down for at least 4 years. So Aberdeen's loss is definitely Glasgow's gain. So, yeah, coming out the Griphouse now again, unbelievable gym, the Griphouse. So, and talking to everybody at the Grip, I mean, Fraser's fitted in perfectly. Comes with a really good style, which is definitely a Griphouse style. So yeah, we're looking to see what tweaks he's made coming on Sunday. So, yeah, Fraser, always a pleasure to speak to you, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. Just got back from training.
Yep.
I've really been enjoying the training down here, of course. Like, as I was just saying to you, it's super high level, all the coaching. Obviously, the gym's got a big history. And
Yep.
even right now, the jiu-jitsu, especially, as I was saying, it's like Paul McVeigh and Gary Christie. I feel like it's probably two of the best jiu-jitsu coaches you can get in the country.
Yeah.
So that's been a great, benefit. And also just getting loads of different bodies. Because in Aberdeen it was the same sort of guys every week, and it was really, really good training there. I really enjoyed it. But now here I've got to work with loads of different bodies, just make those adjustments, different styles.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's definitely really benefited me recently.
Yeah, I'd say you mentioned a couple of people there, Paul McVeigh, Gary Christie, again, two unbelievable. I mean, Paul, MMA and stuff like that. I mean, Paul obviously reached some great heights in MMA. You've got the best dressed man in Scotland, Dean Riley, obviously as well,
Of course.
in your corner as well. So,
Yeah.
so self-proclaimed best dressed man in Scottish combat sports, I think he said he was. So,
Did he say that, does he?
but that's a good thing. I mean, see the Griphouse. I mean, not just the Griphouse, but most of the gyms you go to. I mean, there's always that banter. There's always that. I mean, everybody's there. Don't get me wrong. We always put in very, very hard training, but we like to have a laugh and we like to enjoy ourselves when we're doing it. And I'd say the Griphouse is exactly that. They love to enjoy themselves when they're doing it.
It's probably one of my favourite parts of training is like before and after, just talking to the boys.
Yeah.
And sort of getting a good laugh in. Especially coming in training tired, it's your second session of the day, you can't be bothered, and then you have a good laugh with the boys, get the energy up, and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to go now.
Yeah.
And really get a good session in, even though you're feeling tired.
Definitely. It's going to be good as well. I mean, there's 5 of you on this card, so it's going to be good. Obviously, a team, because again, obviously coming from Aberdeen, there was always like maybe a couple of people, whereas this time you're taking a whole team of people with you as well. So it's going to be good to be able to sit and watch. Obviously, the rest of the team go out and do their thing as well.
Yeah, there's been a really good buzz in the gym, and I feel like just when everyone's fighting at the same time, you've all got that same goal in mind. So you've all really focused, and obviously people train when they're not fighting, but they're not as consistent all the time. So it's really good to know I've got these 4 guys that are going to be in every single session, training really hard, and then everyone else who comes in is just a bonus.
Yeah, you'll have an eye out for the Aberdeen fighters as well on Sunday. You'll have an eye
definitely.
out. definitely.
Definitely. I'm going to have Paul's coming down to corner Caroline, so he'll be in my corner as well.
Yeah.
Because, of course, he knows my style really well.
Yeah.
So it'll be good to see them because I've not seen them since I moved down here.
Yeah.
It'll be good to catch up with all the guys and then obviously support Caroline fighting for her title as well.
Definitely. Caroline, hoping to get Caroline on as well this week. So Caroline's hilarious. I saw her at the ADCC Scotland, and she was just Caroline. It's like, see, whenever you try and describe Caroline to anybody, and you're just like, yeah, she's just Caroline. Do you know what I mean? Like
I'd
me
say
and
a
you.
little bit, maybe a little bit mad. Maybe that's a good way to put it.
She's
but
definitely
in a good way,
lost
of
the plot.
course.
She has, yes. She's absolutely brilliant. Do you know what I mean? She keeps the spirits going. She keeps everybody laughing.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I mean, talk about somebody that goes out and just enjoys themselves. I mean, Caroline's definitely that person. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's so good to see, obviously. Like, I don't know if I should say this, but at her age, going out and putting on, like, she goes and she just absolutely scraps.
yes.
Even though girls are, like, so much younger than her, and she just goes out, puts it on them, and just really enjoys it no matter how it goes.
Yeah,
It's definitely something to, like, look up to.
Yeah, no, she's into all sorts. Obviously, MMA. She does was it kickboxing and Muay Thai, and I mean, she's wrestling, jiu-jitsu, grappling.
Yeah.
I mean,
She's always out doing the jiu-jitsu comps.
Yeah. So I'd say she was at that ADCC Scotland, and obviously didn't come away with a victory. But even after it, she was laughing and joking with her opponent after it, and do you know what I mean? They were talking about when's the next fight going to be, and it was she's lost the plot, Caroline. So, but in a good way, as you say, in a good way. We love her. We do love her. So, so Goliath Fight Series 2 then. So obviously going to be representing the Griphouse for the first time. What's obviously, how did you find out then you were going to be on the Goliath Fight Series 2?
Yeah, so straight after the last show, I remember, or even before it, Stephen was saying to me that he's hoping to put on another show around the 6th or the 5th. I think it was the 6th he was saying then already. And he was like, yeah, it'd be good to have you on. And then I obviously fought 2 weeks after the Goliath show. Yeah. And he was there cornering one or two of his boys. So he was speaking to me then. He was like, yeah, if you're keen to fight again, then I'll definitely get you on. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be like able to fight so soon to move in while I get settled in at a new gym. See what my uni timetable was like, because I really like to train twice a day. At least 6 days a week if I can. So I was hoping my timetable would work out well and allow me to do that. And of course it did. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to fight. So I got matched up with Noah from London. And then originally he was saying it's going to be a title eliminator. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then just the other week he messaged Dean saying, do you want it to be a title fight? And I was like, well, of course. I'm not going to say no to that. And it's still 3-3s, so really it doesn't make a difference. It's just I get to put a nice picture up with a belt after the fight.
Yeah. So, it's good as well. We've got the 3 titles up for grabs. We got obviously your one. We've got, I believe, is it bantamweight one?
Jazz and Reggie.
Jazz and Reggie, and then obviously the female one. I can't remember what weight it is, but it's Caroline and Sinead from SBG. So obviously
and that's a rematch as well, I think.
Yeah, that was at the. I think it was the EMAs. The two of them at the EMAs. So that'll be a rematch at the EMAs. Obviously, it'll be. I think Caroline. It'll be very, very different this time because obviously Caroline. Caroline will have watched the fight back from the EMAs, and she'll be 100% ready. So it'll be a very, very different fight this time. So. Title fight. So this will be your first title. This will be the first title you're up for.
Yeah, my first title I'm fighting for, and it's my 4th fight. Only my 4th fight as well. And it's not even like I'm 4-0, but I think Stephen just knows from watching my fights. He understands I'm at like a really good level. You know, I'm always, and obviously that first fight I was 16. I was small. The boy I was fighting was a little bit bigger than me, more experienced. Obviously, he was a really good fighter. And I learned so much from that fight. I feel like if I fought that Fraser now, obviously, he wouldn't make it out the first minute, I would say.
Yeah.
Just because that's how much I've improved from that point. And then my last fight was a draw, which I thought I won, but obviously I left it too close to if the judges are going to say it's a draw. Yeah. So that was a really good fight as well, though, against an experienced kickboxer. So I think Stephen saw that and he was like, he definitely. And obviously the guy I'm fighting, Noah, he's quite experienced. He's had 7 fights. And in his last fight, he was fighting for the Cage Warriors Academy title.
Yeah.
So I guess the title fight just makes sense to sort of more higher level guys.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I mean, even though obviously they draw, I mean, that fight, people were still talking about that because that was one of the more exciting fights of the day at Goliath Fight Series. Do you know what I mean? So it was an exciting fight to watch, good back and forward, and it was a great fight, and that's the reason. Obviously, Stephen, I'm pretty sure he's obviously looked at all the fights and said, right, who was exciting? Who did people love to watch? Do you know what I mean? Who put
Yeah.
on a show? Right, let's get them back. Hence the reason why obviously you're back on for the second one.
Yeah, and it's going to be an even better show this time. I'm definitely planning on showing more striking because in my last 3 fights, they've mostly just been, I end up shooting early or smothering them to a clinch and
Yeah.
then just working my wrestling. But I really want to get some in-fight experience, working my striking because I feel like at the moment, my striking is probably one of the best aspects of my game. But people haven't really seen it because I've always ended up just in these grappling exchanges. And obviously that made sense the last time out because I was fighting a really experienced kickboxer.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this time round, I really want to show some striking. Obviously, if it goes to 3 rounds, at some point I'm going to probably shoot or end up in a grappling scenario because it's MMA.
Yeah.
But I really want to show sort of the level of striking I have and the sort of because I take a different approach to my striking. I feel like my brother's like an amateur boxer. He's 4-time Scottish champion, so he's really like I learned loads from him about being a lot more systematic. And then the same with Chris Nichol and Paul McBain, sort of inspiring that sort of style of striking where you're constantly setting stuff up, thinking about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I think I've really formed a high level sort of style of striking, which I've not been able to show. So I want to gain that in-fight experience, gaining confidence on my feet, and then showing my striking as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you've had some, see, for only being 17-year-old, man, see when you rattle off some of the coaches that you've had in such a short period. I mean, you talked about Paul McBain, right? You talked about Chris Nichol. You mentioned Gary Christie, Paul McVeigh. Do you know what I mean? Dean Riley.
Dean Riley.
I mean, that's just 5 coaches. I mean, there's been other people involved as well, other different coaches. But I mean, see, for somebody that's only 17-year-old to have that level of coaches already that's been involved in their short journey, I mean, that's unbelievable. Most people go a whole lifetime and maybe don't have that level of coaches.
Yeah, I've been really lucky just to have these, like, such a range of different people that I've had access to.
Yeah.
Especially at the combat centre, I had all those coaches and other ones that people don't even know, like Piotr, the wrestling coach. He's a Polish wrestling guy, and he's just absolutely unreal level of like talent and technique that he's.
Yeah.
And so I learned loads of him. So I'm not going to list everyone, obviously, but I've just be here all day. But I've been so lucky to like be exposed to all these different guys, get different ideas, and then I can sort of take from each bit, take what I like, sort of not use the stuff I don't like, or like see the crossovers. So I think that's really handed itself to developing like a much more technical game. Like I'm never going to go out there and just get into a war. I'm never going to let myself do that because I've had all these sort of influences that can, develop this more technical style of MMA that like I sort of look to like gravitate towards.
Yeah, yeah. It's good as well. I mean, having that experience in your corner as well. So, and especially being young, because obviously we always worry. I mean, any young person when they get into martial arts, you always worry what they're being taught, what they're being told. Do you know what I mean? Because there is some gyms out there that are, I mean, you just watch Cobra Kai, for instance, right? You've got like fucking, do you know what I mean? You've got the good dojo and the bad dojo, and the bad dojo's telling them kick the leg and break the leg and do this and do that. So, but for the experience that you've got in your corner, I mean, you've got some really, really great guys in your corner that not just showing you what to do, but also explaining maybe some of their, do you know what I mean, some of the things they did going through their career. So you've got the benefit of fucking tens of years of experience that are guiding you in the right direction.
Definitely. Paul McBain used to always say at the gym, like, in his for a while he didn't have a coach. After like the name's gone out my head. After Nath left, he didn't really have a coach. So a lot of the stuff was just from him going out and experimenting, watching fights here and there. And then obviously when Chris came along, he really helped him out with stuff as well, and they could sort of bounce ideas off of him. But a lot of it just comes from him experimenting, Learning was a shit in the gym and trying it in a fight and going like, oh fuck, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
We can't use that. So as you said, it's just that experience. I know that's experience that I'm starting to gain myself, even though I'm only 17.
Yeah.
And like it sort of puts me ahead because they've had to go out and do all this, and I can just have that handed to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just that straight away elevates me to like that level.
That's the great thing about obviously combat sports nowadays. Do you know what I mean? Especially, obviously, combat sports wherever, but especially in Scotland. I mean, the level of coaches and the level of training in Scotland that you're getting, not just in Glasgow, but obviously Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh. Do you know what I mean? All over Scotland, you've got gyms over there. And as you said, like Paul did. I mean, there's some gyms out there that learn to do jiu-jitsu from videos, watching old videos, or do you know what I mean, watching YouTube and stuff like that. They don't maybe have the benefit of having a full-time maybe black belt jiu-jitsu coach or do you know what I mean, an MMA fighter coach or whatever. So a lot of these guys were self-trained, which is fucking awesome to see. Do you know what I mean? Especially Paul. I mean, look at Paul. I mean, especially him going out there and learning everything himself and seeing some of the things he's done in his career is fucking unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely in Aberdeen, he's sort of like, I guess you could call him the trailblazer because
Yeah.
there was no one really that got to his level. There was a few guys that fought pro before him, like Chris Farman and Nath, but no one got to that Cage Warriors level. And then, so he was sort of going into unknown territory, really, because he was the only one fighting at that level. I'm sure that there was other guys he could talk to that had been at that level, but really, it was just an experience that he had to go out and experience. And then obviously he's now passing that on to us.
Yeah.
Which is really brilliant.
What about the future? Because obviously 2022, it's coming to an end. Is this going to be your last fight of the year? Are you looking to fight again? Are you just going to take some time, enjoy the rest of the year?
Yeah, we'll see. Because I heard On Top was December 10th, but they've just cancelled recently.
Yeah. Do you know what? I remember me and you talking after Goliath, and I remember saying this to you, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to move. I'm probably not going to fight again this year. And then here we are, Goliath Fight Series 2. Okay, so yeah, obviously on top, yeah. I mean, on top,
so
I think it was doing it the same night as a couple of other things were on. SGI was on the same night, so not December the 10th. I think it was something else on. Somebody had invited me to something. So yeah, it made sense they were going to cancel because I mean all these other places were. Do you know what I mean? They're all taking fighters and all that away from each other. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. So I was thinking about fighting again this year, but then I was actually in a lecture earlier, and they're talking about our exam periods. And I've got exams from like the 6th of December to the 16th, so that might end up putting a December fight off the table.
Yeah,
because obviously sometimes I've got to prioritize uni.
Yeah.
So
what about 2023?
Definitely 2023. I want to be super active. Like, I feel like I'm at one of the points where you just need to get as much experience as you can. Like, it doesn't matter. Obviously, I'm going to want to win. I'm going to do everything I can to win. But at this point, I really just need to get in-fight experience. And loads of experience preparing for fights. Because it's not just being in the fight. It's like getting experience, learning like the weight and how your body responds to different weight protocols. And then different, like, my last fight, one of my mistakes was my cardio wasn't quite there. Because I'd had a few first and second round finishes. And then I realised in the third round, like, I was starting to gas. So that's an adjustment I've made. So I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen again. So I've just got to get all these little mistakes out the way so that when I do go pro, I'm just on the home straight looking to tear everything up. So next year, as many fights as possible, loads of experience. Hopefully get down to England for a few fights because there's so many welterweights going about. Like, definitely just get as many fights as possible. Hopefully a few jiu-jitsu comps as well because I love a bit of jiu-jitsu, so get in gi a little bit.
Definitely. Well, listen, you're in the right place, Glasgow. I mean, obviously, you've got Scottish grappling every, 4 times a year, 5 times a year, or whatever, put on events in Glasgow. So you're not having to travel. Because obviously, I know that you guys travel fucking early in the morning to get down and then have to then spend hours getting back up the road again. So this is going to be a lot handier on your doorstep almost. So and then obviously you've got other things like, say, your SGI. Do you know what I mean? Again, usually see them 4 times a year. ADCC Scotland, obviously, we're going to see them again. And then other ones, Power Grappling. And so there's a lot of stuff on your doorstep that you're going to be able to take advantage of.
Yeah, I turn 18 next February as well. So I'll
Right.
finally get to like properly do jiu-jitsu comps. Because I've done the ADCC Interclub because they never had any sort of restrictions about age.
Yeah,
But the other Scottish grappling ones I've done, I've had to do like the juvenile categories.
yeah.
So when I was a white belt, that was fine because I'd get 1 or 2 matches. But now there's no one. Like every time there's I look for my division, absolutely no one. So maybe if I went down to England, I'll be fine. But once I'm 18, I can put myself in the adult divisions.
That's mad
Which
as
is-
well. Going in as a juvenile and you're an amateur MMA fighter.
It's
So-
mad. Like when I was 16, the boy I fought was like 22 or something. The guy I fought in February, he was like in his 25 or something like that. Yeah, they went. So I was in an MMA fight where they can kick me in the head, but in a grappling comp, they can't. You know, they won't let me. I don't know, try pass the guards.
Yeah.
Like,
That's nuts, man. That's nuts. Having to go
Yeah.
in a juvenile, having to go in a 16 to 17-year-old competition
definitely.
and being an amateur MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? So with a positive record as well, about to fight for a title. Do you know what I mean? You're about to fight. You're about to become a champion, right? And as you said, you can't even go into a jiu-jitsu competition for another
Yeah,
3 or 4
crazy.
months. Do you know what I mean?
Crazy.
So nuts, man, nuts. Final thing for you then, Fraser. Obviously, again, been in the game for a little bit. I mean, we already talked about some of the people that you've got behind you at the moment. Unbelievable list of people. But anybody you want to shout out to? Friends, family members, teammates, anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've talked about loads of my coaches. So obviously, since I've moved here, everyone at Griphouse has been super welcoming. So definitely all of them, Dean especially, because Dean's like the head MMA coach. He's been super welcoming, helping out loads of different things.
Yeah.
And then obviously everyone back at Aberdeen, like everyone knows who they are.
Yeah.
And then obviously like parents and all that, they help out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mentioned them.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Let's do
Definitely like the Griphouse and Aberdeen Combat Centre. Those are
Definitely. Listen, he's down here. Fraser's down here. Moved from Aberdeen. Obviously, become a student at university, and he can't even enjoy the university lifestyle yet because obviously he's not 18. So it must be a bummer. I mean, but are you living on your own? Have you got people in a flat with people?
Yeah, I've got a flat with 3 other guys.
Right.
So they're really sound. And on our block, I've got been speaking to loads of people there. I've got loads of mates now. So that's good. I met loads of guys at uni, so that's decent. They're flat parties and stuff as well. But if I'm fighting, I can't drink, so can't fully enjoy it yet. Maybe after this fight. After this fight, I'll enjoy myself a little bit.
After this fight, mate, get a couple of alcohol pops or whatever it is you young ones drink nowadays, buddy. All right. So there we go, guys. We're going to have Fraser Paterson, the Griphouse, going to be fighting for the title. Noah Landis, I believe. So obviously coming up from down south. So it's going to be the title fight at Goliath Fight Series too. So don't miss Fraser, by the way, because Fraser is fucking awesome. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely awesome to watch. As very, very exciting. People are still talking about your fight from Goliath Fight Series, the first one. So because it was an exciting fight, even though it ended up a draw, it was very, very exciting to watch.
That was on Maximum MMA though.
Maximum.
Fraser Bear.
Yes.
That was the one against Lewis.
Right. Aye, so it was Goliath was the one you won.
Goliath was you
won
the
it in
second round.
Second round. Yeah. Maximum, sorry, was the draw. So, but even the draw, I mean, even people were talking about the maximum. That's what I'm saying. The maximum one was the one that we were talking about. So, because I remember getting a couple of messages from the guy. I can't remember the name of the guy that runs it. So he was talking about me doing some stuff for him, and then I remember watching a pay-per-view and then getting messages as fights were going on, saying, "Oh, did you see that? Did you see this?" So. So it was definitely, even though it was a draw, man, it was, but that's the thing. I mean, see, going through, like, whether it be a draw, a win, or a loss, you learn something from every single fight. I mean, you talked about the cardio. going into the third round, and do you know what I mean? And knowing that the cardio was a thing, so now you've made the adjustment for that. So obviously that won't happen again. So,
Yeah, for sure.
so definitely don't miss it. I mean, it's going to be this Sunday, 6th of November. Ticket, head over to Goliath Fight Series Facebook page and get your tickets directly through there. Anybody that can't make the event, then head over to that page, get the pay-per-view details. Again, it's an awesome event, awesome venue as well, the Glen Pavilion. So I don't know if it's going to be raining or that. Because remember, you remember you had to walk from outside, from one part of the building outside into the building. So we're hoping it's not going to be raining this time, because obviously the weather in Glasgow's a bit shit just now. The weather in Scotland is shit, as it always is. So hopefully the weather's not too bad on Sunday and you're not going to get soaked before you get into the ring. But listen, enjoy the rest of your week, Fraser. I'll be there as usual on Sunday, so we'll definitely get a catch up. Hopefully we'll get a winners interview after it as well.
Oh,
so
mate, for sure.
with that
For
title,
sure.
with that belt on your shoulder, do you know what I mean? So, but listen, enjoy, buddy, and I'll see you Sunday. All right.
Cheers, man. See you later.
Take it easy.